Welcome to View from the Corner Office, the CEO series brought to you by Arizona Business Magazine, Grand Canyon University, and aznow.biz.
In this edition of the CEO series, we talk to Richard Adkerson, the CEO of Freeport-McMoRan. He talks about the company's sustainability efforts, its community outreach, and how it weathered the recession.
So when the financial meltdown occurred in the second half of 2008, it had a dramatic effect on copper prices and the prices of other commodities that we produced. When I say dramatic, it was very sudden and very significant. In the third quarter of 2008, the price of copper averaged $3.50 a pound. By mid-December, it was below $1.50 a pound, and many analysts expected it to go even lower. We had to respond very quickly, and I'm very proud of our organization in the way that we did respond. We cut back higher cost production, we deferred capital projects, we cut back on our corporate G&A expense, and adjusted the cost structure of our business to deal with the lower prices. And we were prepared to deal with that for some period of time.
Fortunately, the bad times didn't last as long as the company had feared. China's economy began recovering by mid-2009, and copper prices went right back up. It's emerging countries such as China that are the future of Freeport-McMoRan.
Behind China is the rest of the undeveloped countries in Asia. India, which has over 1 billion people, currently uses less than 5% of the world's copper, whereas China is using somewhere between 35 and 40%. We see it in Indonesia, where we have a major mine. That country has a very large population of 240 million people, and those people aspire to have better housing and better transportation communication, all of which require copper. Beyond that, Eastern Europe, and as you mentioned, South America, and ultimately Africa are going to be major markets for copper and other commodities.
Freeport-McMoRan Copper and Gold is the world's largest publicly traded copper company. It operates mines in the Southwest, Chile, Peru, Indonesia, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Freeport also boasts a global workforce of almost 30,000. In 2007, Freeport, then headquartered in Louisiana, merged with Phoenix-based Phelps Dodge. While the new company chose Phoenix as its new HQ, Adkerson knew Freeport had to recognize Phelps Dodge's Arizona legacy.
We have a lot of high regard for the historical importance of Phelps Dodge to Arizona and the Southwest United States. In Arizona, we've gone into the communities and continue to interact with those communities. We form partnerships with community groups to talk about their own plans for development, how they develop their communities and their economies. We provide support to it. I think we spent close to $25 million last year in supporting communities activities in Arizona alone.
Freeport also recognizes that being a good member of any community entails having a sound sustainability program.
We start with looking after our workers' welfare. Environmental impacts are critical, and they're inherent in what we do. We move very large amounts of material to be able to mine. We process large amounts of material, and how we mitigate the environmental impacts of what is part of those operations is very important to us, and those impacts have to be managed over long periods of time. We also have to go back and manage environmental impacts of historical operations when people were not as aware of what the impacts were, and that's another factor of our business. And then we we work for helping communities develop their situation so that they have the ability to continue after mining stops at some point.